One Zambia, One Nation, to present the main news at 19 hours on ZNBC TV. I'm Patricia Ellis. Our sign language interpreter is Loveness Chupa. A look at the top stories in the news. President Edgar Lungu has warned civil servants against frustrating the work of the government. Former Malawian President Bakili Muluzi has described first Republican President Kenneth Kaunda as an icon of peace in Africa. Vice President Inonge Wina has described the late Mavis Muyunda, who served in the MMD administration, as a national leader. And also coming up in the news, the Zambia Amateur Athletics Association ZA has received a donation of 475,000 kwacha from 8 companies towards the 2019 Madison General Intercompany Relay. Thank you so much for joining us, and now the news in detail. President Edgar Lungu has warned civil servants against frustrating the work of the government. Speaking on arrival at the Harry Mwanga Nkumbula International Airport in Livingston this morning, President Lungu said civil servants have a duty to help the PF achieve its vision. And President Lungu promised to provide leadership to the nation under the One Zambia, One Nation slogan. President Lungu announced that he will soon tour the entire southern province, especially rural areas that are affected by hunger, so that relief food can be sent to affected people. He challenged the PF in the southern province to work hard and double the votes the party received in 2016 from the area.
Civil servant, One Zambia! Yes, it's very important. You should realize that we are one Zambia, one nation. I promise you that I'll provide leadership in this country as one Zambia, one nation. And that's why I'm here very frequently. If time allows, I would like to come here and do a tour of the entire southern province. I want to underscore the fact that you are much part of Zambia as any other part of Zambia. Without you, like I said last time, there would have been no success for PF in the 2016 election. So the few votes that you won, please increase them again. Even twice that much, we'll still respect you. Even if we don't win anything, we want some numbers from here, and we are happy that we are where we are because of your support. So I will not allow divisions between the party and the civil service, no. So as civil servant and the party leadership, I want you to continue working together because we have a duty to cooperate and bring development and prosperity to the people of Southern Province. I'm happy that the reports I used to get of dissension and conflict between the party and the civil service are no longer reaching me, which means we are working together. This is as it should be.
And Southern Province PF Chairperson Lawrence Evans said the party in the region will not listen to people who want to use the back door to lead the PF because the party has already endorsed President Lungu for 2021. Mr. Evans urged the PF in the Southern Province to work hard to ensure they secure votes to rule beyond 2021.
And to my fellow colleagues, the Patriotic Front members, let us walk with the head of state. Let's walk with the president. Those that want to come using the back door, we should not listen to them. We vote our own president that we've endorsed for 2021 by the name of Edgar Lungu.
And President Lungu has warned that he will not tolerate the deliberate escalation of project costs in the country. President Lungu made the warning when he officially opened the Engineering Institution of Zambia conference in Livingstone. The president said he is concerned with the current trend where project costs in the country are escalated through systematic variations. Justin Akakuluwelwa now reports.
President Edgar Lungu has officially opened the Engineering Institution of Zambia EIZ Symposium in Livingstone, and his message to the engineers is precise.
I wish to now take this opportunity to express concerns at the current trend where project costs are escalated through systematic variations. If this trend is left unchecked, it has the potential to erode the achievements we have made so far. Before the commencement of any projects, please let us ensure that everything is factored in to avoid a situation where we start paying more and more than we budgeted for. I have said it before, and I will not say it in a very harsh tone, that I will not tolerate this. And this unethical behavior, Mr. President, must be curtailed henceforth.
And President Lungu has challenged Zambian engineers for solutions on how best to tap into the country's potential.
The current situation, where we seem to rely much on imported solutions to address local problems, must come to an end. I am confident that the engineering fraternity can make immense contributions by devising innovative solutions to Zambia's development challenges. This can only happen when we have men, and of course women, in the leadership of the EIZ, who are dynamic, practical, and forward-looking.
Engineering Institution of Zambia President Sidney Matamwandi has commended the government for its support to the engineering profession in the country.
We are cognizant of the fact that engineers are on the front line of the implementation of various projects being undertaken by our government. It is in this regard that I wish to deliver a message of assurance that since your vision and our vision are inextricably intertwined, we pledge our support to make you succeed, sir.
Housing and Infrastructure Minister Ronald Chitotela has also thanked President Lungu for creating a conducive environment for the local engineers.
Let me also take this opportunity to thank you all engineers for the role that you are playing in making sure that Zambia becomes an attractive center of engineering work.
President Lungu has become the first sitting head of state to attend the EIZ conference since the engineering institution was established about 64 years ago. Justin Akakuluwelwa, ZNBC News, Livingstone.
Head of Zambia Atomic Energy, Roland Mseska, says the country's nuclear power plant is expected to be set up in either northern Luapula or northwestern province. Dr. Mseska has told ZNBC News that this is contrary to what people are saying, that government has not put up a nuclear power plant in Chongwe district in Lusaka province. Dr. Mseska said what is in Chongwe is the Zambia Center Nuclear Science Technology and Educational Research and Industrial Application Facility, which he says is different from a plant.
So in reality, if you are really talking about when this plant would start to work, if we were to follow our logic, it's 2040. Yes, that's when you have your nuclear power plant starting to function. Either northern Luapula or northwestern, where there is a lot of water. And if the west go to the west, you would have to be thinking about creating canals to connect these rivers. You would have to dry up the whole of Lake Tanganyika and Lake Bangweulu and all the other Lake Mweru. There is so much water in the north or even northwestern.
Meanwhile, President Lungu says he is alarmed with the scale by which ZESCO has proposed to increase electricity tariffs. The president says the proposed increase in electricity tariffs is worrisome. The president said this in an interview with ZNBC News in Lusaka. This was shortly upon his arrival from Livingstone, where he opened the Engineering Institution of Zambia conference. And President Lungu has called for a holistic compliance with procedure that governs the process to rejoin the Patriotic Front, PF. The president, however, says the PF is open to all individuals wishing to either rejoin or join the party. President Lungu said this in Lusaka this morning in an interview with journalists over the decision by former United Party for National Development, UPND Vice President Geoffrey Mwamba, to rejoin the PF. This was shortly before President Lungu's departure to Livingstone on a presidential engagement. Meanwhile, Northern Province PF Chairperson Lazarus Walia has told ZNBC News that Lusaka lawyer Kelvin Walia has no capacity to contest the Patriotic Front PF presidency, as he does not belong to any PF party structure. And Western Province PF Chairperson Charles Mututwa says it stands by its decision to endorse the candidature of President Lungu for the 2021 general elections. And the Zambian DNA spokesperson Spooky Mulemwa has urged the leadership in the ruling Patriotic Front government not to be distracted by people who want to bring confusion in the party. Just now, we go for a break, but do stay with us as we have more news yet to come. Welcome back. We continue with the main news. Paramount Chief Chitimukulu has called for patriotism and selflessness among politicians in order to enhance national development. Chief Chitimukulu has also declared the Bemba royal establishment is non-partisan and will always support the government of the day. He said the royal establishment will continue to work with government in fostering national development, peace and unity. Speaking when former UPND Vice President Geoffrey Mwamba called on him at his palace in Mungwi, Chief Chitimukulu further observed that self-sacrifice, personal principles and experience are key attributes of political leaders who aspire to address the aspirations of the public. Chief Chitimukulu has since urged Mr. Mwamba to freely interact with the royal family, and Mr. Mwamba has said he is happy to reunite with the royal family. The former Minister of Defense and Kasama Central lawmaker has since pledged to work with the traditional leadership and government in order to contribute to national development. Government has clarified that the staff appraisal in the civil service is not meant to replace substantive employment contracts of workers in the civil service, as is being wrongly interpreted by some media houses. Chief Government Spokesperson Dora Selia says performance contracts in the civil service have always been there from permanent secretary level to the lowest position. Ms. Selia says what government is merely trying to do is effectively manage the performance of workers in the civil service, and that government is not introducing anything new. She said facts are that at permanent secretary level, the staff appraisal form is called a performance contract, while for the rest of staff below the rank of permanent secretary, it is called annual performance assessment form. Ms. Selia said Public Service Management Division Permanent Secretary Boniface Chimbwali was misunderstood by some sections of the media last week when he said government intends to manage performance of workers in the civil service due to their importance in quality service delivery. National Guidance and Religious Affairs Minister Godfrida Sumaili is elated that CBU students have asked for forgiveness over their riotous behavior. Reverend Sumaili says this is the spirit that needs to be encouraged whenever people realize they are wrong. In an interview with ZNBC News today, Reverend Sumaili said it is important that students find better ways of engaging government and their institution in order to find lasting solutions to their problems amicably. Yesterday, CBU students apologized to President Edgar Lungu and Minister of Higher Education Kandaluo over their riotous behavior.
That undertook. We want to take this opportunity to speak to all the students in higher institutions of learning, for them to really respect the values, principles, and ethics that we have given ourselves as a nation. The value of human dignity, the value of integrity has to be taken very, very seriously. And let me also encourage the families out there, because I believe these students are coming from various homes. And as parents, we need to really respect the family values.
We go for another commercial break, but do stay tuned as we have more news still to come. And now business news in detail. Government says it is reviewing the National Intellectual Property Policy in order to make it responsive to ever-changing technological landscape. Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister Christopher Yaluma says the review will cover all aspects of the intellectual property systems. Mr. Yaluma was speaking in a speech read on his behalf by Director Trade and Commerce Nsangwa Ngwira during the commemoration of the World Intellectual Property Day. And Director Sports in the Ministry of Sports, Bessie Chelemo, said sports has contributed immensely to the socio-economic development of the country. And PACRA Chief Executive Officer Anthony Wembia called on all inventors and creators of intellectual properties to patent their invention for protection. Government has challenged seed companies to come up with innovations of seed varieties that mature early and are able to withstand prolonged dry spells. Southern Province Permanent Secretary Mr. Mwangala Liomba says the improved seed varieties can help mitigate the effects of droughts and enable small-scale farmers have good harvests. He was speaking during the Southern Province Seedco Provincial Field Day held in Chief Chikanta's area in Kalomo District. And Chief Chikanta has advised his farmers to share agricultural knowledge during the field day, as this creates a platform for exchange of ideas. And Southern Province Seedco manager Jaspers Simanengo said his company will endeavor to improve its seed varieties to match changing times. The field day was attended by Chief Muchila, Chief Monze and farmers from different areas within Southern Province.
It is at these events where farmers are given a chance to showcase their achievements, performance of certain seed varieties, and practices for sustainable agriculture, among other things, to their fellow farmers. As the saying goes, seeing is believing. This indeed is a time to see how some farmers have performed due to unique farming practices and different seed varieties in the midst of poor rainfall experienced during the farming season 2018-2019. So we are here to learn from each other. But we are also here to teach each other that we should not always think farming is maize. We want to emphasize the aspect of diversification. In as much as you can do conservation farming, you have to diversify, you have to grow other crops other than maize in a difficult situation like this drought.
One of the best varieties during drought times like this is 303, Seedco 303. It takes about 90 days to get matured. Otherwise, we've got other varieties like 403, 419 is also a new variety, 411, 513 and 525. Those are in the categories of early maturity varieties.
That's all the business news we had for you today. Join us on Wednesday for more business news. We'll continue with the news. The Japanese government has donated 500,000 United States dollars to Zambia for the implementation of refugee programs for 1 year. And receiving the check, Minister in the Office of the Vice President, Sylvia Chalikosa, said the country appreciates the assistance from cooperating partners towards the full implementation of programs supporting refugees. Ms. Chalikosa said the funds will see the successful running of the reintegration of Angolan and and Rwandese refugee programs. And Japanese ambassador to Zambia, Hidenobu Sobashima, said Japan admires Zambia's commitment to assisting refugees and will continue to support Zambia's long-term refugee immigration and resettlement programs. And United Nations Development Programme UNDP country representative Israel Desalegn has pledged his organization's continued support to various humanitarian programs.
Recognition that successful local integration cannot be instant, but must be planned and supported over time, based on a harmonized approach. This has resulted in the shift from the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees with a humanitarian response to a cross-UN approach led by the United Nations Resident Coordinator and the United Nations Development Programme UNDP Resident Representative, supporting a long-term sustainable development approach.
What's unique here is that Zambia recognizes many long-term refugee immigrants from Angola and Rwanda, totaling about 23,000 people, as former refugees, and is implementing sustainable resettlement program for them.
He has supported the creation of a sustainable resettlement approach to bring together those new permanent residents, residents and Zambian citizens on a 50-50 basis into new communities.
Former Malawian President Bakili Muluzi has described first Republican President Kenneth Kaunda as an icon of peace in Africa. Dr. Muluzi has told Zanis in an interview that Africa is where it is today due to the immense contributions made by Dr. Kaunda, and that it is only fitting that the continent celebrates his 95th birthday. The former Malawian leader said this upon arrival at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport in Lusaka aboard Ethiopian Airways. And Foreign Affairs Minister Joseph Malanji said government is satisfied with the arrangements put in place for the visits of Africa's former heads of state to celebrate Dr. Kaunda's 95th birthday. Other former African heads of state expected in the country are Mozambique's Joaquim Chissano, Botswana's Festus Mogae, Tanzania's Hassan Mwinyi, Namibia's Hifikepunye Pohamba, and former Togolese Prime Minister Edem Kojo.
Best former President Kaunda, an icon of Africa, somebody who was the first champion of African unity, and we thought we should come and share over this time. Thank you very much. Yes, the preparations are all done. As you may know, this function has been taken up by the state. So all preparations and all the protocols have been done. The main function, of course, is the lunch on Sunday, being attended by the head of state. So that's how, that's the importance of this function.
Vice President Inonge Winner has described the late Mavis Muyunda, who served in the MMD administration, as a national leader. Mrs. Winner said government will ensure that Mrs. Muyunda is mourned with dignity. The Vice President has also urged the family of the late Mrs. Muyunda to mourn her in a dignified manner, as she was a leader of remarkable character. Mrs. Winner said this when she visited the funeral house in Lusaka's Makeni area.
Proud family, because your mother was a recognized leader in this country. Your mother has been the pillar of this family, and not only in your own home, but she was a pillar, I know, at the village and in the community. I've known Mavis for a very long time, and definitely our hearts go out for you.
Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation ZNBC management says it will continue exposing its workforce to various trainings in order to promote efficient delivery service. ZNBC board chairperson Mulenga Kapwepwe says the corporation wants to reach out to all audiences, including those that use the internet. Ms. Kapwepwe said this during the closing ceremony of a training program for ZNBC staff members on website management. Speaking at the same function, French ambassador to Zambia, Sylvain Bergeon, called for a free but professional media. Speaking on behalf of the participants, ZNBC website editor Joshua Jere thanked the French government and ZNBC management for organizing the training program. And speaking earlier, trainer Bruno Flaven from France Media Monde said he has given enough information to the participants to allow them to run the website effectively. All right, time now to bring you what's happening in the world of sports. A quick look back at our earlier story where Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation ZNBC management says it will continue exposing its workforce to various training in order to promote efficient delivery service. ZNBC board chairperson Mulenga Kapwepwe says the corporation wants to reach out to all audiences, including those that use the internet. Ms. Kapwepwe said this during the closing ceremony of a training program for ZNBC staff members on website management. Speaking at the same function, French ambassador to Zambia, Sylvain Bergeon, called for a free but professional media. And speaking on behalf of the participants, ZNBC website editor Joshua Jere thanked the French government and ZNBC management for organizing the training program. And speaking earlier, trainer Bruno Flaven from France Media Monde said he has given enough information to the participants to
enable the corporation to tap into today's audience, because I think everyone, rural and urban, are fast embracing the internet as their preferred source of information. And ZNBC needs to be out there, ready to serve in that sector. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, my board and the ZNBC management are in a hurry to make ZNBC the broadcaster of first choice and to serve public interest as the best broadcaster. Consequently, we will continue to equip our staff with the necessary tools and knowledge that will shape not only our transmission and broadcasting techniques, but also our editorial and even entertainment content.
Because it sustains this excellent cooperation between France 24, France Media Monde and ZNBC. This is a MOU which was signed in 2016, and as we just said, it is...
That ends the news. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.